exactly today, 2 years ago, I made the switch from being a devout Android user to the dreaded iPhone. I'm going to share my experience and tell you why I decided to make the switch and how things have been and what my future looks like. So going back through all my emails and purchase history, it was August of 2021 is when I first bit the bullet and bought the iPhone 12 Pro. I actually ended up returning it about 30 days later, just within that return window, whatever it was, and ended up getting the iPhone 13 Pro, which was released that September. Still using the iPhone 13 Pro right now, and just going to give you a little bit of my experience making the transition, having 15 years of everything in the Google world to now the Apple world. Looking back at the transition process, going from my Android ecosystem over to the Apple ecosystem, it was actually pretty flawless, pretty smooth. So if I remember correctly, there's an app called Move to iOS that I downloaded on my Samsung phone and ended up going through that whole process. I believe it transferred pretty much everything over. What I didn't transfer was all my photos, because those are still living in Google Photos. And I actually still use kind of a weird combination of Google Photos and Apple Photos. I have some Google Home devices throughout my house with the screens, the Nest Hub Max and the Nest Hub. And so we want all of our family photos to be displayed on that as kind of, like a live album. So those pull directly from Google Photos. And then also now that I'm on iPhone, obviously I have Apple Photo library as well. They do sync together automatically, so I don't really have to think about it. The only real downside is that I'm paying for storage on Google and also the Apple side now. But, $2 a month, $3 a month, whatever it is, not a huge deal. The hardest frickin' part was figuring out how to work this operating system, the OS itself. How the hell do I go back when there's no back button? That was one of the biggest things that took me a while to get used to. The Google gesture is a swipe in from the right-hand side. The Apple gesture is a swipe in from the left-hand side. Took a while for me to get used to. But yeah, so how the hell do I go back? Where are all my damn app settings? That was another thing. I still don't really think that the way Apple does it's the best. But at least I now know where my app settings live. It's just bizarre that now there's a weird combination of I have the settings in the Apple settings, and then some apps have their own settings that I have to go find and mess with. So it's a weird combination, and I still don't necessarily agree. I don't think that the current way Apple goes about all the different app settings and stuff is the best, but figured it out for the most part. Another big one that probably is still one of the biggest downsides of Apple is the notifications list. So it's still a complete mess. Right now I'm on iOS 17 beta. Obviously there's been some iOS versions trying to address some of the notification issues, but still pretty much a complete mess. I really like the way that Google was handling notifications way better than Apple, and hopefully they can address that. But at the end of the day, it's not a deal breaker. Another thing was the control center. Took me a while to figure out kind of how to customize it, what to set up, all the different things that it can do. But I think I pretty much have it where I want it now, so not a big deal. Just took a little bit of getting used to. Something also that I'm still struggling with is why do all the widgets suck so bad? Now that I'm on iOS 17 beta and they're actually interactive widgets, that helps massively, rather than just basically a giant shortcut into an app. So that helps a lot. Really makes the widgets better. I do like how they all kind of look and feel the same, as opposed to on Android, the widgets, they were very specific to the individual app, and they kind of had their own theme. And that's what they're going for, right? But I do like how integrated the widgets seem to be in iOS 17. Another thing, I really liked the under-screen fingerprint sensor. That's something that I miss. Especially, I ended up getting my iPhone during the whole COVID situation. So with a mask and then polarized sunglasses, Face ID wasn't as convenient as maybe it was in the years prior. Obviously, it's been 2 years since then, so no masks anymore. but I still do wear polarized glasses. So within the settings, it can't see your eyes. At least it doesn't seem to be able to, whatever sensor is in the iPhone that is for detection of you looking at the screen. I guess it can't see that through polarized glasses. So whatever that setting is, I don't remember exactly what it was, but maybe I'll show it up on the screen. But I had to turn that off. I guess it makes it slightly less secure because somebody can just hold up my phone while I'm sleeping. But at this point, if there's somebody that wants to get into my phone while I'm sleeping, we got bigger problems. So that was kind of some of my initial issues that I had with the iPhone or the Apple ecosystem, primarily just the iOS UI in general. I did watch a ton of tips and tricks videos that I'm sure probably a lot of you out there have seen as well. And it helped. There were some cool things that I learned. And maybe I'll make another video with some of those tips and tricks for you as well. I wanted to make this video based on my transition and to help any of you out there. If you are thinking about making the transition, there's a couple little things that might bug you at first, but overall, transition was extremely smooth. The big question out there is, am I still on iPhone? Do I plan to be on iPhone still? What other Apple ecosystem things have I got? And where does my situation stand now? So, just cut to the chase. I don't plan on going back to Android anytime soon. There's something about the Apple ecosystem that just, once you're in, it just sucks you in. So, after I ended up getting the iPhone, all this kind of happened gradually, but ended up getting rid of my Microsoft Surface Pro, got a MacBook Air M1, ended up buying the iPad Pro 11-inch with the M1 chip as well. Obviously got my Apple Watch you've probably seen in this video. I ended up getting some freaking AirPods Pros. Ended up switching out the Chromecast with Google TVs for 2 Apple TV 4Ks. So I don't see myself going anywhere. At this point, we're pretty much entrenched into the Apple world. And for the most part, I mean, it's pretty good. I still wish there were some things, especially with your phone, that kind of bug me. But iOS 17 is getting a little bit better. I do love how much everything is intertwined. They communicate together. You can use your phone as an Apple TV remote. Your AirPods will switch from laptop to iPad to phone. So love it. Love that aspect at least. And yeah, so if you're thinking about making the transition from the Android or Samsung ecosystem over into the Apple ecosystem, it's a pretty smooth transition. Apple makes it really easy for you to move to their ecosystem, but if you go in the other way, what I've heard is that Apple does not make it very, very streamlined for you. So yeah, it's a pretty slippery slope, spending thousands and thousands of dollars on Apple stuff over the last couple of years. So I'm probably going to end up upgrading at this point from my iPhone 13 Pro. It's now been 2 years. So I'm thinking about doing the iPhone 15 Pro when it comes out in next month. So thanks for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts in the description below, and please hit that subscribe button for more. Thanks.